6:37 in the morning. It's the day of the happy hour, and your Pima County taxes and libraries are going up too, Joe. Everything else?
Everything's going up, Chris. Wow. I mean, nothing goes down anymore.
So we're doing drinking songs. We're doing drinking songs today. We're celebrating and commiserating at the same time. And as we know, things only change at this thing called the ballot box. Is that what we call it, Joe?
That's it, man.
And the city of Tucson voters will have another swing in the batter's box.
Yes.
At trying to change this place the only way you can change this place, which is on Election Day. And a lady who is very ready to go, and I think very prepared and very qualified to run for city council is Margaret Burkholder. Good morning, lady.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous.
You, I tell you, first of all, the three of you, between you and Kelly Lawton and Bill Hunt,
yeah,
it's three of the best, I think, qualified candidates the GOP has come up with for these city council races. I think I've seen in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. We really have a team, and this is going to take a team because when I first had conversations with the Republican Party, I said, not there's any one of us, we can't do it by ourselves. It's going to take all three.
Right. Well, and a little background on yourself. You a teacher.
Yep.
For a number of years, and been on the Vail School District for a decade.
Yep.
Top school district in the country or state? Second?
Oh,
First,
country.
second?
I'll take country. I'll
First,
take
second?
country.
You guys
I'll
are
take
rocking
country.
out there. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand that you had such good enrollment with open enrollment. You had to kind of say we can't take many more left, and it's
Yeah.
gotten to the point where separating a street from Houghton to TUSD is on one side and Vail's on the other. You go from the worst to the best, and it has a lot to do with leadership and your board leadership there for years.
Absolutely. And when I was first elected to the board, we were ranked 50th. So right smack dab in the middle, very average. And there was a couple board members who said, you know what, we can really do better than this, and what is it going to take? And it's about allocating resources to priorities.
Right.
And so while we've crept up all the way from 50th to number 1 and stayed right there in the top tier of school districts, our budgets have been cut.
Yep.
And I mean, would I love to pay our teachers more? Do our teachers deserve more? Absolutely.
Yep.
But with the budget we have, how do we get the job done?
And I look at classroom spending, I look at your role of IT, and I look at the creative stuff you're doing. I mean, you guys are, it's an example of what you can do in the government sector. And I hope you can bring a little of that love to the city of Tucson.
Absolutely. It's taking care of students and parents.
Yep.
And coming to the city, it's going to be the same thing. It's taking care of the citizens of Tucson.
Yep. So what would be your big issues? What do you see in Tucson that really kind of concerns you? Where would you start? What would be the first things you kind of look at?
First is the reallocation of the budget, because would I love the budget, the pie, to grow? Absolutely. And the only way that's going to happen is not by taxing us, but it's said is by growing business.
Mm-hmm.
We need more taxpayers paying more money, purchasing. A lot of the revenue comes from sales tax. We need more people with more discretionary income buying more things. I mean, this is simple.
Totally.
And I'm a math teacher, so of course it always comes down to math.
Here we
for
go.
me.
Give me a pop quiz.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So I mean, right now we can't, we have to work on growing the pie. But in the meantime, how do we slice the pie?
So for 6 years we've been playing slice pie, cut, change. How do we slice? But you're right. I think ultimately, and I've had this discussion on air, we need to grow this thing.
Yes.
We need to have more folks paying into the system.
Yes.
Because you can only cut it so many ways. And we continue to fight over all the little pension here, cops, fire, parks, police, and everything just kind of suffers.
Yes.
So eventually you got to rise that pie.
Yes,
back up.
because if you look at, I mean, for me, this is very much like a home budget. If I want more money, I have to get a better job or get another job, additional jobs. I mean, I have 4 daughters, maybe I should start putting them to work, but we have, so grow the pie.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, what has to happen first is we have to allocate, because we just lost another credit downgrade, right? And they're very clear. It's not this smoky, like, I don't know what we did that this happened.
Read
like,
the report.
Yeah, there's a
Very
report.
specific, right.
And it says, you're not city, you are not doing this. This is where you're
Pension,
not,
rainy day fund,
where
it's
you
very
are
specific.
not financially stable, and we're not going to give you the highest credit rating. So who does that hurt? It hurts us, the citizens.
Right.
So here's the thing. I see as your biggest challenge is you have to break through the mass delusion of this entire city that making these horrible decisions that they've made, including your opponent Shirley, because she's been there the longest.
Correct.
She is like one of the grand dames of Tucson's ineptitude.
Hey, was Rio Nuevo? Did that happen on her watch?
Everything happened under her watch.
She's been there 20 years.
Okay, I think the stock market crash of 29 happened on her watch. Okay, she's been there that long. But you have to break through this mass delusion of all of these, and it's perpetrated by the newspaper, it's perpetrated by a lot of the media in this town, is that all of these bad decisions of we don't fund police, fire, parks, and roads first is somehow an acceptable thing around here. How do you break through this mass delusion for a good portion of the voters out there that they know the roads suck? Trust me, their kids are playing and breaking their faces on Udall Park fields because they can't water them, take care, or whatever. How do you
Police
break
staffing down to the 1990 levels?
You know, so when you see Tres Amigos gets robbed and it took 2 hours for TPD to get there because they're so understaffed, how do you break through that?
There's one word. It's courage. It's just getting the job done. For goodness sakes, don't we hire grown-ups to do the work? That's all it is. And it's one of my favorite, in the Vail School District, we have a family conference every year where we bring in a speaker, and it's really about growing families. That's very important to us. Healthy families, we have healthy schools, right? There's not any rocket science with that, right?
Dr. Lehman has been your speaker.
Yes, and so Dr. Lehman, one of the things he had said is kids need a little vitamin N. No. My kids here know a lot. No, you can't go hang out at the mall for 6 hours. That's called loitering.
It's one of my favorite words.
Yeah. And there are programs that need a little no. Right. There are groups that need a little no.
You are correct.
And you just have to have someone who has the courage to say, no, I'm sorry. It's in the perfect world, I would have all the money to do that.
Right.
But that's not our reality. Who is looking at our budget? Who is looking at our finances and making sure we don't follow down the path to bankruptcy that we're seeing some of our sister cities in this country do?
Bernardino, we talked about it yesterday, just going down that pipeline. And
yeah.
They're the second poorest community in the country. We're number 5.
We're right. We're in line,
right.
in line, and that Tucson. I mean, okay. I moved here. I met this really cute guy. We fell in love. He was from Tucson, so I moved here. We started a family about 20 years ago, and we've had opportunities where we're like, okay, we're young, we don't have kids, where do we want to live? And we chose Tucson because I don't care. Yesterday was stinking hot and today we're getting more of the same. But I don't shovel that, I don't slip in that. I have some of the most amazing views in the country of the Catalina Mountains. It is amazing here. And why can't we attract businesses? We have some of the best schools here, you know, and if you bring in people, we can grow this economy. And if we grow this economy, the city doesn't need to raise taxes or fees, nor does the county. If we bring in more people with good jobs.
Well,
so true.
Republicans, moderates, independents, and the Democrats who want change.
Correct.
All right? It's time for you to really just find a little bit of a little bit of that courage. And this is the time to do it. And all you Republicans out there who have been very frustrated with what's gone down in the world of Republicanism in this last 5 to 10 years of what's going on in this party, there are amazing candidates like Margaret who need help. All right? This is not, if you're going to try to unseat a 112-year incumbent like Shirley Scott, this woman needs as much help as humanly possible, and so does Bill and Kelly. Correct. So all of you ones that have been doing, what do you call it, the cortos, the short arms of the thing, please, this is a time for you to cut a check, $50, $100, whatever you can do to help her out and help the other ones out because they need it, because you have Bill is a very active Pima GOP chairman. He's doing a great job. You got great candidates. And if you're really going to stay here, there's only 2 ways you do it. You do the Higgins gambit, which is get out, all right? Or you stay and fight. If you're really going to stay here, then fight. Yeah. If you're just going to stay here and, watch Kate Jenner on the television all day, enjoy the crap hole that Tucson's turning into. And that's what we're at.
So true, so true. And, people ask, why am I doing this? Well, I have 4 daughters. And
How old are your girls?
So my eldest will start high school this year. So I have a 14-year-old and I have a 5-year-old. Wow. I am invested in this community, and I want my kids to be able to grow up. My daughter, when she's now in high school, Kara had said, "Mom, one day, can I buy the house next door? I go, absolutely. When I grew up, can I buy the house next door?
Wait till she's a junior, then she's want no part of mom.
No, exactly.
Really, I'm out of here.
It's when I was her favorite parent.
Right.
But now she's like, Mom, I don't know if I want to stay here in Tucson. And she starts talking about things. And this is worth fighting for. Because we have this amazing university right down the road, graduating all these students. And then they leave. Mm-hmm. Just last weekend, I was at a wedding for an amazing young couple. And it was this beautiful wedding, 2 wonderful lives, starting this new family, and they got in their car and they drove to Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did a presentation at U of A, one of the other, about 50 people in the class, and at the end I said, how many are staying in Tucson? I saw 3 hands go up.
Yeah.
So 47 or so are moving. And that's a shame, because that's our big export, right?
It is. Our talent. And this city, I mean, it's gorgeous here. The weather, I mean, I'll take 107 standing in the shade any day.
Talking about people cutting you checks and supporting you, how do they get a hold of you to do such things?
The easiest way, I mean, you can go to the Pima GOP website. There's donate now for all of the candidates, and we need 3 to win because we see if you have one person up there, I can have great ideas and not even get a second. So this has to be a team effort. And so the Pima GOP, or you can find me on Facebook, Margaret for Tucson.
Is there a possibility we're going to see you at happy hour tonight?
Oh, about 100%.
Excellent. So if you want to meet Margaret, she will be at the happy hour at Arizona Pizza on Sabino Canyon. Make sure you bring your checkbooks and/or cash with the proper paperwork to fill out. You'll have that.
I'll have the paperwork. You bring the cash.
And say some prayers.
And say some prayers. Are we allowed to say prayers on public radio?
Oh, we can. Right. We're Christian radio.
FCC is all over us. We're toast.
David and Goliath. I mean, we've got an amazing group of Davids.
We do.
We sure do.
Just get her enough money so she can buy that one rock for the sling. That's all we want. So
just one.
All right, Margaret, thanks for running. We know it's a sacrifice to do this for your family and things like that. I saw him run when he ran for Pima County Board. I know how this happened. So, thank you very much. So hopefully your kids and your husband still like you in mid-November.
I hope so.
It's a rough ride.
They're going to love me mid-November.
You are correct. All right. Margaret Burkholder, check her out. Go to the Pima GOP website. You'll see the big donate and the candidates page. And, give legally and early and often, as we like to say.
Yeah.
All right. Margaret, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you tonight.
Yep.
Dan Shearer from the Green Valley News is coming up next.